What's good, YouTube? This is B-Boy-Turk1990, and this is my revamped vampire deck. Yes, revamped. It sounds like a vampire pun, but anyways. Um, yes, this probably may be not my final video, and like I'm not leaving or anything. This is like one video I'm gonna do today, because this day and tomorrow I gotta study for my pre-calculus finals. So hope you guys enjoy this, and yeah, I finally got sleeves for my magic deck. Hallelujah to that. Now, so this is my standard 60 with the sideboard 15. So let's start with the main deck. What I play, this is a fire red vampires, just to let you all know, so you won't get confused. So first, of course, I play the Falcon Wrath Marauders, a Erdwall Ripper. What I think about him, well, he has haste, 1. 2, whenever it deals combo damage, you place a 1/1 counter on it. It's a 2/1. That's okay, and it's a lesser, just 2 mountains and a random, so I'm fine with that. Gives me less mana cost and gives me a chance to boost up a bit. Next up, I got Rakish Air. Whenever a vampire I control deals damage to a player, I put a 1/1 counter on it. So including himself, including himself. So I basically just give off my vampires a lot of attack boosts for that. Next up is, and that's for all the fire vampires, is the Nearheath Stalker. It has Undying, and it's a 4/1. So, and the mana cost is 5. So I think for that, I think it should be like at least 2, no, not 2, I mean 3 or 4 mana cost, but I kind of get the idea, right? Maybe someone can make them broken with a Undying counter, so yeah. That's my red vampires. Now my black vampires. 2 Falcon Wrath Nobles. I really love this guy. He's a flyer, a 2/2 flyer, and whenever he dies or another creature dies, target player loses a life and I gain a life. So it could count on multiple times too. So it does stack. So if say like I have like maybe if it was like a 5-man free for all if someone plays like the Dark Hole, yes, I'm using Yu-Gi-Oh terminology, like a card that plays this Dark Hole, and there were like maybe let's say 15 monsters in total, including him. So him and 14 other monsters. I could give 14 damage to one player, and I gain 14 life, which I love this guy very much. So yeah, I definitely, you have to play. If you're gonna play Magic and go play Vampires, play Falcon Wrath Noble. 2 of him would be good. Maybe 3. I don't know. Next up, Singular Vampire. He's a little confusing to think about, but when I think about it, is that if he ever dealt a creature that's dealt damage by Singular Vampire, this turn dies. So basically, if some creature, if he attacks a creature and deals damage and kills a monster, he gains a 1/1. So that's why I believe what the wording on Singular Vampire. I mean, the wording is kind of awkward, but I think I kind of get the point, what it was trying to say. Next up is Vengeful Vampire. It's like basically a flying Nearheath Stalker, but black, and it has Undying also. So I believe you should play him too. Bloodseeker, 1/1. Whenever a creature under any opponent's control is entered in the battlefield, I can let that player lose a life. So this is what I believe. He's pretty amazing. Child of Night, lifelink. I basically gain damage by whenever she deals damage. Same as Markov Patrician. It's the same thing. It's like this is like an evolution. It's like 2/1 for Child of Night, 3/1 for Markov Patrician. So it's straight. Next, and finally for the last monster in blacks, Stormkirk Patrol. Whenever he deals damage, he gains a 1/1 counter on it. So he attacks, he becomes a 5/4. So basically that's what it is. Now, on to my fire instants and sorceries. I play Vampiric Fury. Gives every vampire I control a 2/2 counter, and they gain first strike until the end of the turn. So I could give, say I have a haste, someone who hastes and they're trying to block it, play this. Everyone he has haste. My Falconrock Marauder is a haste and first strike. It basically I could just give off damage like no tomorrow. So this is why I love. This is the best one, not the best card in the whole world. It's just like if you go play Vampires, you have to play it. Next up is Shock. It's 1-drop mana, deals 2 damage to a creature or player. Next up is Incinerate. Deals 3 damage to target creature or player. A creature dealt damage this way can't be regenerated this turn. So any creature that knows regeneration and it gets incinerated, they can't regenerate. So on the turn. So with that said, I think they're not gonna come back. And for sorceries, Blood Feud. What I love about this card is I could give one creature that they control, and hold on. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Now, I give one creature my opponent controls to attack another creature my opponent controls, and they both duke it out and one dies and stuff. So that's what I love about Blood Feud. Next is Fireball. It seems a little confusing to play, but it's still a good card. I could give off damage and everything, so yeah. But it's divided evenly, so it's gonna be of a difficult one. I might get rid of it if I got a better one. Next up is Tectonic Rift. Any creature destroy a target land my opponent controls, and if any creatures that can't fly cannot block. So that's another one. And another sorcery, the last one too for fire, is Spire Barrage. And it deals damage equal to the number of mountains I control. I control 24 mountains and 24 swamps. So yeah, do the math. And now for my black instance, I start off with 2 Tragic Slips. I used to play 1, but it didn't help me out a lot. But when I just played this one game, I got another one from a friend of mine, and I was playing a 5-man game. Tragic Slip, a few of my friends. It's a really amazing card, and for 1 drop, that's even better. So yeah, 2 Tragic Slips, I definitely would recommend you should play. Also in 2, Tribute to Hunger. The sad part about it is that your opponent's gonna go for the weakest one, so you have to play it out. Like when they have only their strongest monster, that's when you play it out, and then you could gain the life out of that. So that's why I believe. But this is still a really good card. You just gotta know when to play it at the right moment. Don't play against humans because they could gain a lot. So that's the thing. Next up another instant is Undying Evil. I could give a creature Undying until end of turn, and it's a 1-drop. Same thing. Next is Grave Purge. It's basically an infinite amount of Pot of Avarices. But I draw a card, but that's okay. If I draw 2 cards with that, it seems a little messed up to do. So yeah, just think of this as a infinite Pot of Avarice with a 1-draw card. So, but still, I love this card, and I would definitely play it. Next is Instill Infection. Puts a 1/1 counter on the target creature, and I get to draw a card. So I can weaken one monster, I could kill a monster that has less attack, and pretty much. Now that's my instant blacks. Now my sorcery blacks. I play 1 Gruesome Discovery. I target one player, and they discard 2 cards. Or if a creature died in a turn, I get to the player reveals the card, reveals their hand. I get to choose 2 cards from it, and the player will discard those cards. So that's a really amazing thing, especially if you're going against cards that are heavily rely on instants or sorceries. This card is very amazing. Next up is Night Terrors. It does the same thing. Not the same thing. It's just my opponent reveals a hand, and I get to choose a non-land card. So any creature, anything or such, I get to exile and banish it. So that's another thing. Next is Despise. I could target an opponent. It will reveal his or her hand. I choose a creature or planeswalker card from it. Player discards it. So basically, I go against someone with a Gideon planeswalker or Ileana as a planeswalker, and I can discard it, and they won't be able to get it back unless they have like a monster reborn or something like that. Next up is, for another sorcery, Diabolic Tutor. It's basically reinforcement army for any card, basically. And for enchantments, I got a Gruesome Deformity, which gives my vampires Intimidate, which that in case no creature without the same color or artifact creature, artifact creatures and or creatures that share the same color can block someone who has Intimidate. But other than that, yeah, if I go against like a plain humans and I have fire red vampires, they can't block either way. So yeah. Next up, and finally, artifact Mask of Avacyn. It's I grant my creature a 1/2, and it hits hexproof, which it can't be targeted by spells or abilities by my opponent, and it just costs 2 mana, and to equip it is 3 random, so that's even good. Now that's my monsters, instants, and sorceries. So now let's get to my lands. I play, let's see how many lands. I play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, I play 12 mountains. So it's 24 lands in total. Well, basic lands. And 12 swamps. I proxy these two because I need dual lands. And I play 2 Dragon Skull Summits. It's a black-red dual land, and it comes in tapped unless I control a swamp or a mountain. So yeah, and in addition, I tap one, I get to add a swamp or a mountain to my mana pool as for mana cost, and finally two Terramorphic Expanses. Sacrifice for it, and tap it and sacrifice during my opponent's end phase, and I get to search for a land, and it comes tap, and when it comes to my turn, I untap it as I go. It was just something that I have. So this is my main deck right here. Now for sideboard, I'm still working on the sideboard for a bit, cause like I played it for 2 years ago, but like I didn't get fully on. Like I never got competitive with it. So now for the sideboard, another Despise. You get the drill. My opponent reveals hand, and I get to choose a creature or a planeswalker card from it, and they discard it. Second, I have Distress. Target player reveals his or her hand. I get to choose a non-land card from it, and that player discards it. More, I have Mind Rot. My player discards 2 cards, and it's a 3 mana drop, while this is 2 mana drops, and this is a 1 mana drop. So if I have like a lot of swamps in there, I get to pull off a lot of combos. Same as this one, it's also another Night Terrors, a 3 mana drop also. So if I pull out this kind of combo, I could basically just take out if I could pull out a combo like this, like play all of this in one hand, I get to basically take away my opponent's whole hand, which seems so messed up. It's so good. Human Fatality, destroy target human creature. Undead Executioner, when he dies, I get to target a creature, gets a -2/-2 until end of turn. So it could kill some, it could weaken some. It depends on who you're battling. and I got a Soul Cage Fiend, and when he dies, each player will lose 3 life. And I do gain life, and my whole vampire deck is discard cards, gain life, make my opponent lose life. That's how it's played out, and they boost too. Next up, I play, for my fires, I play 2 Charmbreaker Devils. At the beginning of every upkeep, I can return an instant or a sorcery card at random from my graveyard to my hand. And whenever I cast an instant or a sorcery spell, Charmbreaker Devils get a 4/0 until end of turn. So, and it's a 6 mana cost. So, the only reason I play this is because I want to return like my instants or sorceries I play, because I don't have a lot. I'm more creature based than sorceries or instant based. So, yeah. Next up is Crossway Vampire. Once this creature is enter the field, target creature can't block this turn. So I can target 1 creature. Next is Night Revelers. It's basically against humans. He gains haste every time whenever there are humans. So yeah. Next up is Razor Swine. He gains a first strike and he infects. So when this creature deals damage to creatures, this creature deals damage to creatures in form of -1/-1 counters and to players in form of poison counters. So this has poison counters and it's an effect. So I kind of like infects. It may be helpful. Next up is 2 Nihil Spell Bombs. When I sacrifice this spell bomb, exile all cards from target player's graveyard. So basically, I banish every single card in my opponent's graveyard, and when the Nihil Spellbomb is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, I can pay 1 swamp, and if I do, I draw a card. And this is an artifact, so it's not like an instant or something. But 2 of that is good enough. And last but not least, Vanguard Shield. And my creature, it gains 0 attack but 3 toughness, and can block an additional creature. So I make my creature block 2 creatures instead of 1. So, and to equip in it is just 3, and it costs 2 mana. So that's my whole black-red vampire deck with a sideboard in it. Hope you guys like it, enjoy it, and maybe when I'm done with my pre-calculus finals, I get to I probably can do more videos, especially the deadliest deck video and meta talk with windups, Naturias, Flamvels, and some other deck and some other archetype I forgot. But yeah, so deuces guys, talk to you guys later. See ya.